Welcome back again to Joe Stunner Boxing. I hope you're all doing well, having a great day. If you're new to the channel and you could subscribe, that would be a big help. If you can hit the like button on this video or any of the other videos, you know, I'm always appreciative of any support you can give. I really do appreciate it. But subscribe to the channel and let's build this channel up a little bit, shall we? Right. We got a title fight, a world title fight at the weekend, the IBF featherweight title between Kid Galahad and Kiko Martinez. It's Galahad's first defence since the win over Jazza Dickens, which was a rematch. He stopped Jazza for the British title some years ago and repeated the trick. Took him a little bit longer, I think 2 rounds longer. Earlier this year, he won the IBF featherweight, the vacant IBF featherweight title. And as brave as Jazza was, and he was very brave, he got stopped by Galahad. Galahad's the new IBF champ. People have criticised this first title defence as a bit of a gimme. Martinez is now, he's only 35. So he's only 4 years older than Galahad. And it seems like he's been around forever, because Martinez, if ever there was an example of a fighter who gets recycled, who you write off and think should retire, and then he comes back, it's got to be Galahad. I mean, not Galahad, Martinez. He's amazing. Back in, I think it was 2008, 2009, he had 2 fights with Rendall Munroe. That's how far back he goes. The old Leicester bin man, and lost both of them. I think he lost a majority decision the first time, and unanimous decision the second time. So that's how long he's been around, Martinez. And when you write him off, he lost twice to Frampton. One of those was by knockout. He got absolutely wiped out by Scott Quigg in 2 rounds in 2015. And he keeps coming back. He just keeps coming back. He's a former world champ himself, former European champ. At European level, he's still too good for almost all of them. But at world level, you know, he could theoretically be a threat. He's coming off a defeat. This is Martinez. He's coming off a defeat to Rendall Munroe, to Zelfa Barrett, which was earlier this year and was a hotly debated decision. I don't think I scored that fight when I was watching it, but I watched it back and I thought, yeah, you can make a case for Martinez winning that fight. There was some dissent about the decision, and the natural next fight would have been the rematch. And I think Eddie Hearn had it in his mind to make that rematch. Martinez had an 8-round runabout for earlier in the year, just a little warm up, 8-rounder, won on points. That was in Spain. And he was waiting for the Barrett fight. And as has been proven in the past, if you're training, if you're ready, an opportunity could arise. You've got to be ready to take those opportunities. If you live the life and you train hard and you stay focused, when the opportunity comes up, you can grab it with both hands. And so it's proven. Galahad, I think Eddie, I watched a couple of interviews with Eddie and he said, I couldn't really find an opponent for Galahad that was particularly attractive, so I thought, why not Martinez? So Martinez jumped from a rematch with Barrett to having a world title fight. So how's it going to pan out? Well, Galahad is part of the Wicker Bank gym, goes back to the days of Brendan Ingle, now trained by Dominic Ingle. And Galahad, according to all reports, absolutely lives the life. He is totally obsessed with boxing and obsessed with being the best he can be and maximising his potential, which ideally is what you want from every single boxer, but you don't always get it. In fact, I won't say you rarely get it, but you don't always get it consistently with someone over a period of years. And it was a long time coming for Galahad, because he lost to Josh Warrington on, again, it was a very questionable decision. That was a couple of years ago, but he stayed dedicated, he stayed focused, got the title on a vacant belt, beat Jazza, and now he's making his first defence. So if you're ready and you're prepared, I think that's something that both these fighters have in common. If you're ready and you're prepared, the chances will arise and you'll be prepared to take them. He is so clinical. Galahad. Such a dissector of opponents that I've heard people say, I think he's a bit boring. Do I find him boring? I don't think he's the most exciting fighter in the world, but at the same time, I wouldn't say boring. I think that's a little unkind. If you like boxing, you like the technical side of it, yeah, you know, I can watch the guy. He's not the most exciting, but I find some of his fights, if there is a criticism to be made, it's because he's too clinical. He dissects the opponents with such precision that it can get a bit repetitive, and it's usually the opponent that makes any of his fights exciting. I see the fight with Martinez, who is a come forward, he's quite short for the weight, he's a come forward guy. He likes to put pressure on, he likes to throw lots of punches, he likes to make an absolute nuisance of himself. Similar-ish in style to someone like David Avanesian. Cuts the ring off well. He had his world title fight. I'm trying to remember the name of Martinez. He won his IBF. Was it his IBF featherweight title against? Was it Jonathan Romero? 6 rounds. I can't remember when. It was probably about 7 or 8 years ago. But that's his best performance. It was against Jonathan Romero. I'm sure it was. And he stopped him in 6. And Romero was undefeated and a big favourite. And Martinez was absolutely brilliant that night. He cut the ring off perfectly. Didn't allow Romero to breathe. Punches in bunches, an avalanche of punches. And he just overwhelmed Romero. And I think Romero probably took him a little lightly. And then he won a couple of defences before losing on points to Frampton in a rematch. He'd previously been knocked out. So Martinez is a pressure fighter with extreme experience. He's fought everyone. Got stopped by Gary Russell Jr., Leo Santa Cruz. Keeps coming back, and he's going to try and put that pressure on Kid Galahad. Barry, as his name is. Can he pull it off? I don't think so. I see this fight going exactly the same way as. Not exactly the same way, but a very similar way to the Jazza Dickens rematch. I think Martinez is probably better than Dickens. Dickens was, again, I use the word dissected. He was chopped up and dismantled, if you like, despite trying to put pressure, trying to make a total nuisance of himself, trying to cut the ring off, trying to cut the distance. Galahad controlled him with a high output of punches, it must be said. He's very precise when he punches, but that doesn't mean to say he's particularly economical. So I see this fight going the same way. Galahad, on the one hand, Galahad may have more problems with Martinez, because Martinez, I think, is a better overall fighter than Dickens and is probably more adept at putting the pressure on. But there's a flip side to that, which is that Martinez could leave himself open. He got knocked out with one punch the first time he fought Frampton because he was trying to put the pressure on. He lifted himself open and Frampton chinned him. So there's two sides to that. Perhaps Barry, Kid Galahad, could see an opportunity earlier on and, you know, sort of side him down, if you like. I'm going to go for another very clinical stoppage win for Kid Galahad in about 9 or 10 rounds. It's possible he could do it earlier, but I do see a stoppage for Galahad. I'm going to go the 9th, the 10th, that sort of, you know. It all depends on whether he wants to start his work quick or whether he wants to have a look at Martinez. I think Martinez will bring it. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But I don't think it'll be enough. I think he'll put up his usual very gallant effort, but I don't think he's going to win. I think it's going to be a stoppage win for Galahad in about 9 or 10. So what are your thoughts? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Either, I ain't fussed, you know. I'm happy to talk to anyone. Anyone I disagree with is, they're not my enemy, they're just someone I'm disagreeing with. So leave your comments below. What do you think of the fight? You disappointed with the matchup? I think this fight could be a bit more exciting than people are giving it credit for. because I kind of rolled my eyes a bit when I first heard about it. But then I thought, oh, Martinez, maybe he's earned that last roll of the dice. But I don't think he's going to win. I think it's going to be a stoppage for Kid Galahad. Let me know your thoughts below. As usual, have a great day. Like I say, if subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you've already subscribed, thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. I always appreciate any likes you can give these videos. And you have a nice day. And you take care of yourself. Bye-bye for now.